We're on a mission to create a modern-day utopia. As we contemplated where to locate our efforts, we felt there was no better place than New York City.
Now I'm down in Tribeca, right next to De Niro, but I'll be hood forever. I'm the new Sinatra.
It is no wonder that New York serves as our nation's commercial metropolis. Urban development tends to form where natural resources are already in place. The natural advantages that New York City was blessed with created a situation that could not be matched by any other city in our nation. The Hudson River, the East River, Long Island Sound, Upper New York Bay, and Lower New York Bay consist of miles of land, creating an ideal port for travel and trade. As long as the bar off the Sandy Hook is kept open, the harbor serves as the ideal gateway to the Atlantic Ocean. This harbor is an obvious advantage when it comes to trade, but how does this natural feature make New York City a potential location for a modern-day utopia of sustainability? The idyllic access to waterfront allows New York to efficiently obtain drinking water, dispose of their waste, and increase agriculture. Specifically, New York has used its geographic location to create an exemplary water system that is both economical and flexible. Water for the system is impounded in 3 upstate reservoir systems with a total storage capacity of approximately 580 billion gallons. Approximately 95% of the total water supply is delivered to the consumer by gravity alone. Since 1842, there have been no significant interruptions of service other than brief annual shutdowns for the purpose of routine inspections during the period from 1842 to the Civil War. Being a commercial metropolis, New York inevitably has a denser population. The dense population has encouraged the use of public transportation, conserving fuel and energy. As urban planners, we feel this is not enough. We discovered a sustainable program that New York could easily implement in the city called B-Cycle. B-Cycle proponents hope that having rental bikes conveniently at hand will inspire healthy lifestyles and alleviate congestion in car-clogged streets. The Bike and Roll rental outfit, in partnership with B-Cycle, is operating the program. Bike and Roll said it started the program along and near the lakefront because of its dense mixture of tourist attractions, office buildings, and shopping spaces. By next spring, Bike and Roll hopes to have 30 rental stations throughout the city. There are 2 ways of renting a bike from B-Cycle. Dedicated users can purchase memberships online at a rate of $35 a month or up to $55 for 3 months, with $10 discounts for students and seniors. This program is already being implemented in places like Denver, Montreal, Barcelona, and all over the world. New York would strongly benefit from such a program, and if used on a larger scale, it would certainly have a positive effect. New York City has long been known to have issues with waste management. With a city so large and so heavily populated, it's been hard to effectively manage waste. We as urban planners feel the current program allows for social injustices and marginalization. New York City generates 23,600 metric tons of waste every day. The problem is in its disposal. Environmental problems have made the city reconsider its waste disposal system, which consisted of 8 incinerators to burn waste and 11 landfill sites in which to dump them, one of them including Fresh Kills Landfill on Staten Island. The question remains, where will the waste go after that site is full and closed? In order to address the waste issues in New York City, we suggest drawing from San Francisco's waste management program. In San Francisco, garbage is treated like a resource that shouldn't be wasted. The city has developed a zero waste plan. The Zero Waste Challenge is reflected in solid waste system support for reducing consumption, maximizing diversion, and encouraging reuse, repair, and green purchasing. It also involves banning troublesome goods such as plastic bags and superfluous packaging, and promoting alternatives such as recyclable or compostable takeout food packaging. Most of these actions require ongoing outreach at homes, schools, businesses, and events. In some cases, mandates and ordinances are required, such as mandatory segregation of recyclables and organics and construction and demolition debris. One next major step includes supporting the passage of statewide legislation that holds manufacturers, businesses, and individuals accountable for the environmental impact of the products that they produce and use. We suggest that New York City develop a zero waste plan and implement similar alternatives for individual waste management, just as San Francisco. In In addition to San Francisco, New York's Utopia would implement Tokyo's latest green technology. Toshima Incineration Plant is one of more than a dozen garbage plants in the Tokyo metropolitan area that have recently started burning plastic waste. The Toshima Incineration Plant in Tokyo burns 300 tons of garbage a day while producing electricity, hot water, and even road materials. The incineration runs in a dense urban area, reportedly without producing stench. The plant's control center closely monitors the levels of toxins at each stage of the burning process. The incinerator operates at 16,000 degrees Fahrenheit. A state-of-the-art filter system removes almost every single ash and toxic substance from the air before it leaves the plant. What comes out of the 70-story tall smokestack is just steam and a very tiny amount of carbon dioxide. And the byproducts are all recyclable, even profitable, bringing in nearly $1 million a year. If New York were to implement Tokyo's technology in our modern-day utopia, the city could use the profits to increase sustainable projects like the Bank of America skyscraper. We'd now like to focus on one of New York's own exemplary sustainable features. New York's utopia will consist of buildings that are modeled after their already existing Bank of America skyscraper. The skyscraper is the world's first commercial high-rise to receive a platinum rating by the USGB LEED certification process. The building was a recipient of the 2010 Best Tall Building Americas Award by the Council on Tall Buildings and Urban Habitat. The building is constructed of 45% slag cement, which lowers the amount of carbon dioxide greenhouse gas produced through normal cement manufacturing. The structure's floor-to-ceiling insulated glass contain heat and maximize natural daylight, reducing energy consumption and increasing transparency. The building's underfloor air system provides workers with the ability to control their own space temperature, as well as improving the ventilation effectiveness. The air filtration system removes 95% of particulates. Increased fresh air ventilation is activated when elevated levels of carbon dioxide are detected in the building, and the air exhausted from the tower is cleaned as well. Water conservation features in the tower include waterless urinals and a gray water system that recaptures nearly all rainwater and sink water and reuses it, which have been estimated to save 7.7 million gallons of drinkable water per year and reduces CO2 emissions by 144,000 pounds per year. This is significant considering research that has stated that 30% of CO2 emissions in the United States come from inefficient buildings alone. There is a cogeneration plant located on the building's 7th floor that captures heat energy that would otherwise be wasted and uses it to help reduce the building's energy demands by nearly 2/3. Located in the basement are chillers, which are designed to make ice in the evening when power use is low, and then used to cool the building during the day when electricity use and rates are much higher. Next, we'd like to take notice of Portland, Oregon as a leader in sustainability. In our utopia, we would implement Portland's population and growth control. According to Cities That Take Sustainability Seriously, profile of 8 cities, sustainability goals are an important part of government operations in Portland. The city's Office of Sustainable Development and the Sustainable Portland Commission coordinates programs to encourage business conservation, residential conservation, global warming, solid waste and recycling, and sustainable development. Specifically, Portland uses zoning and land use regulations to encourage sustainability. Zoning is economically efficient in that it does not require a lot of money to implement. Portland's urban growth boundaries essentially created a ring around the city that allowed zoning for things like churches, residences, and grocery stores. Next, Portland knocked down the freeway and made it impossible to get in and out of the city, and implanted a free transit system. Although zoning and urban growth control often comes under harsh criticism, Portland merely made it a priority to designate special areas of the city that need to be treated with greater sensitivity to environmental impacts.
Live life to the fullest, be what I wanna be.
Finally, we have created an innovation of our own that would serve New York as a modern-day utopia of sustainability. Although the population of New York City has increased roughly 4.4% since 2000 and 13.8% since 1990, the number of supermarkets has decreased by 1/3 over the last 6 years. Our group of urban planners feels that food deserts around the city create a social injustice that could be combated. We suggest that the City of New York team up with a wholesale grocery store, such as Costco, to sponsor a program we like to call Community Carpool, or CCP. Last year, New York spent $6.1 billion on obesity-related health problems. Diabetes can be genetic, but in most cases, obesity-related health problems result from unhealthy dietary habits. With the help of the government and a major corporation like Costco, CCP volunteers will be given hybrid vehicles to transport neighbors to and from the wholesale grocery store. Costco could be persuaded to take on this endeavor because volunteers would be required to sign a contract pledging to only shop at Costco. Carpool lanes and tax breaks would be offered to increase the appeal of the CCP. Not only would the CCP's use of carpooling and hybrid transportation benefit the atmosphere, it would also improve the health of the citizens of New York.
I tell a man, get the people a tax break. Kids stop shooting, I can't sing it no more way. I can't take the money with me, so I caught a movie. Favorite actress, Angelina Jolie. Favorite singer got to be Marley.